Welcome back to Where Whites Walk, episode 25. This week is Tanaka, the best pound-per-pound signing in the Championship this season. We're going to get Jacob's view on that and let us know yours. Also, there's a cry now to start Ramazani following the performance against Sheffield Wednesday. AI has had a look at all the Leeds away fixtures and has done a prediction for us. Stay tuned for that. And at the end of the video, please stay with us, because we're asking Jacob to rate the worst ever strikers he has seen play for Leeds United, and we're building up our worst ever Leeds team. Last week, of course, we put Kiko Casillas in goal. Let us know this week. I'm going to record that again, mate, because I flicked on the wrong page.
I think I'll just move my laptop a bit because I'm.
Is Tanaka the best pound-per-pound signing the Championship has seen this season? That's our discussion point on Where Whites Walk this week. Welcome to episode 25. Also, we're getting the views of fans that are saying start to Ramazani. It's got to start following the performance against Sheffield Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining us. At the end of the video, AI is also going to predict the Leeds United away fixtures to come. How many points will they get? And we're asking Jacob to pick up his worst ever strikers that he has seen play for Leeds United. Who's yours? Because we're building up our worst ever 11. Last week, we put Kiko Casillas as our worst ever Leeds goalkeeper in goal. Who's going to fill those top positions at the end of the pitch? We're very delighted to have Jacob back with us, fresh back from Ellen Road, of course, on this day that we are recording this against Sheffield Wednesday. We're very quickly going to review that game, but it's a massive week for Leeds, and of course, it culminates in a Monday night fixture against Burnley as well. More on that in a minute. How are you, Jacob? Was that as good as it could possibly have got against Wednesday as the scoreline?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I was saying to my dad, who I was there with today, Wednesday actually came and they wanted to play football. They weren't like some other teams that we've seen this season, such as Derby, who are just, hoofball. So it made for quite a good game, especially that first half. But, our quality just shone through, and like we're going to talk about with Ramazani coming on and sealing the victory for us. So, yeah, it was a great game.
Okay. I've got to talk about Tanaka. I mean, it's good. First of all, great to see him get a goal. Alan says, I'm delighted for him again. He's finding his groove with his finishing as a top player. Super Leeds 84 says, he's quite simply best value for money signing of the season. Can anyone think of better? And before our Sheffield United fans jump on this and say, what about Cooper in goal? He is, isn't he, for you? The best value 100%. Signing?
100%. And it's not just, people will look at goals and assists and stuff. And obviously, he got his goal today and then the one at Hull last week. But it's just the way he breaks down play, drives forward with the ball. He rarely loses the ball. Just his overall footballing ability, especially alongside Rothwell as well. Thought Rothwell did well as well, having to go back into midfield when obviously Ampadu has to drop back because Pascal Strike's injured. But yeah, Tanaka's been so good for us.
Is this Leeds team better than the Leeds team that was relegated from the Premier League? I'm trying to imagine how this team would do in the Premier League, and I think it would do far better than the last team did.
It would do just as well. You look obviously like Rodrigo, you'd obviously probably put up top because he had a brilliant season for us when we came down. But Nonto, even Manor Solomon, if we got Manor Solomon now. But yeah, just and our defence is a lot more assured with the recent introduction of Ampadu and Rodon last season. Obviously, when Pascal Strike's fit, he plays alongside Rodon. So yeah, I'd have to agree with you there and say that probably would have been better than the side that came down.
I want to ask you about Ampadu, if that's okay. Matt Hill says, I've always said Ampadu was better at the back, and for me, controversial this one, possibly better than Streak. Gaz says it was never 3-0 game. We were poor enough at times, but it's a sign of a good team when not playing well and still winning. Fantastic result. Talk to me about this comment about Ampadu. Do you agree with what Matt's saying at all?
Not really. I think Pascal Strike's our best defender by a mile. You've seen it. He proved himself in the Premier League under Bielsa, and unfortunately last season he got that injury which kept him out for a few months. And obviously Ampadu did a fantastic job, but Pascal Strike is, he's a natural centre back. Obviously Ampadu he did an interview with Sky after the game saying that he's happy to play anywhere, but prefers playing in that midfield, and I prefer to see Ampadu in that midfield role. But yeah, Pascal Struijk, 100% is our best centre back.
Yeah, okay. There were big calls, as we mentioned, for similar to this one. Sick of the World says Ramazani needs to be starting. Well done, lads. Tough game and great finishing up the Whites. There were many I could have put on here to demonstrate the same point. Is he? He's not a. I don't know. It's not a 90 minutes player. When I've seen him play, he always strikes me as being this kind of player as a super sub for 20 minutes. What's your view?
Yeah, I mean, the one game he started in and scored was actually, I think it was two. He scored away at Cardiff. That was his first goal, and then he scored at Watford. Sorry, not at Watford, but at Ellen Road against Watford. But I just don't think Farke, and I'm sure everyone will agree with me, can drop Manor Solomon at the moment. Getting his goal today as well. Dan James wasn't at his best today, but we've seen it. He's been a source of goals as well. And then again, so is Aronson. So it's really, but it's healthy competition for places at the end of the day. And if we've got Ramazani and Nonso to bring off the bench and, they're both contributing well, and especially Ramazani getting a goal and an assist, what more can you want? So I'm sure his time will come. There's plenty of games, obviously midweek against Norwich. So surely be some rotation there.
Mm-hmm. Is Dan James just having a bit of a blip at the moment? His performances. I mean, I saw him away at Stoke and he was great, but since then is he struggling at the moment?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, players always go through these spells. You've seen it with Nonto throughout this season as well. But once Dan James gets a goal or an assist, or because today, I think it was Valerie who he was up against. Valerie played quite well today. So yeah, obviously it depends on the game and depends, confidence plays a huge part. But it's like he didn't really need to be good. We've got 3-0 at home, and so yeah. But definitely a little blip in form. But I'm sure he'll find his feet sooner or later.
All right, let us know in the comments what you think. Is Tanaka the best pound for pound signing the championship? If he isn't, then who is? We've asked AI Jacob to predict all the away fixtures. If you didn't see last week's video, go and watch it. It predicted all the home fixtures, and it said you weren't going to lose any, if I remember correctly. This time round, it says that you are going to pick up some losses. 19 points in total. It says you'll pick up with 6 away wins. Coventry, Watford, Sheffield United, which will be pleasing, I'm sure. Luton, Oxford, and Plymouth, with losses to Portsmouth, QPR, and Middlesbrough. Would you take that? I'm sorry, the draw against Burnley as well. Would you take that now?
Definitely take not being beaten by Sheffield United and Burnley. Obviously, both tough places to go, and obviously both fighting for automatic promotion. I think Portsmouth away. I think the league position they are, and they're going to be fighting for relegation. I think we'd win there. But QPR, I would probably predict a loss as well, going off the back of the last few seasons. Obviously, last season that 4-0 horror show at Loftus Road, and Middlesbrough. We've been good at Middlesbrough in the past few seasons. Won there last season in that 4-3 thriller, and then 1-0 under Bielsa. So, but obviously you never know. I definitely feel that we're due at least, probably 3 or 2 more away losses. So,
yeah, I think it's probably taken into account the Carling Cup, but the Carabao Cup as well, wasn't it? Against Borough. I think how AI works just goes on recent history, doesn't it? It doesn't have to go going back. Let us know what you think. If you take 19 points out of the remaining, what is it? You've got 27, something like that.
Especially if we go unbeaten at home for the rest of the season. Like you've got to take that. You've got to take that.
You'd be promoted, wouldn't you?
100%.
Back to the Premier League. Although if you look at how Southampton are doing at the moment, you probably don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Lastly, then we have been asking all of January for Jacob and the team to come up with the worst ever Leeds side that they have seen. Last week, Jacob, you put Kiko Casilla in goal. This week, we need 2 strikers from you, please, if that's okay, and help him out by putting comments below. Who's the worst 2 strikers you've seen at Leeds? And I'm worried you're going to put a current player in here.
I was also thinking the same today, but I've definitely got one one firm choice, and that's Jean-Kevin Augustin, who was signed by Marcelo Bielsa. And he just turned out, he didn't even play over 90 minutes, I don't think. Obviously, so injury prone, but when he did play, he just never looked fit, never looked sharp, never really, didn't offer any threat or anything. And what a waste of money that was. So, I mean, obviously, there was that whole issue going on about paying Leipzig back and stuff. So, yeah, so that was a horror show. And I obviously, recent times could possibly say Bamford, but I feel that's really harsh with how much he contributed in one, getting us promoted, and then two, in the Premier League.
Yeah.
There's a few. Obviously, we never had really glory days within the last 10 years of the Championship, but we did have some good. Obviously, Chris Wood, Lasoga, Dakara is another one. It's tough to choose. But for me, in recent times, like Joe Gelhardt, recently, I thought he was obviously the next big thing. He got that goal against Norwich. But recently, I mean, he's not been playing, which is one thing. But when he has come on, he's just, just looked a bit unbothered for me, really. But maybe that'd be a bit harsh to put him in. But definitely Jean-Kevin Augustin. I'll go with Jean-Kevin Augustin.
All right. Let us know if you can think of any others. Burnley then. After the Norwich game this week, we're recording this, of course, before the midweek game. You know what happened last time you played Burnley? They did a right number on you at Ellen Road. Sat back, scored on the break, and it was probably one of the most frustrating games for Leeds fans this season. You owe them one, don't you, at Turf Moor on Monday night?
No, 100%, 100%. I'd love nothing more to go there and beat them. But yeah, the game back in August was so frustrating. Should have had a penalty that day. But there's so many excuses that you can make throughout a season. And obviously Burnley took their chance and we didn't. But it'll be tough. Turf Moor's a tough place to go. But they've got a lot of draws recently. I mean, got away with one against Sunderland. So but I'm confident. I'm confident there.
Okay. All right. We'll be previewing that a little bit in more detail next week with a Burnley fan. So join us for that. Thank you very much, Jacob. Next week we're going to be looking at the worst ever defenders for our back line. So stick them in there, and also we need the world's worst Leeds manager to come. So start thinking about who that might be. I think maybe a little American guy might be getting a call for that one. Thank you very much for watching. Do drop us a subscribe. We are looking, of course, to get to 100 subscribers as quick as we possibly can. You can help us do that. We really appreciate all the comments that we've been getting and all the love for Jacob. Have a great week. Enjoy the Norwich game, and we'll see you to preview Burnley in 7 days' time. Have a great week, everyone.